Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. I have been outside. It is bright and sunny out there. Not altogether too warm, but when I go for walkies, I think this might be too much. I overheat quickly. I have a lot of long muscle, long, lean muscle. Everyone has long muscle, lean muscle in my legs, and they burn more efficiently, and I burn hot. Thumbs up for that. Anyway, though, a couple things I got written down because I have to write them down because, after all, last week it was the culmination of something, I believe, but something happened organically in my body and my blood pressure spiked, which increased the weird feeling, headache, ringing in my ears, and inability to concentrate. Well, the headache has largely gone away. I have a mild headache right now, not sure why. But my blood pressure spiked. Now, I still have the ringing, I still have the inability to concentrate, but we're driving down my blood pressure with the proviso that it can take up to a month for it to fully take final effect. So, at least we're taking care of it. Now, I had a med manager appointment today as well. I mentioned to her, with all this going on, I had originally started taking my gonfacine, which is a mild blood pressure med, but it has a side level effect of helping with ADHD. I told her how I started taking it twice a day. And because excuse me. And because of that, I'm suddenly not time blind. Which is, if you don't know, time blind is where a 24-hour day feels like it takes 8 hours tops. It's just every time you turn around, much more time has passed than you expect. You just lose track of time, and then when you notice it, a lot of time has passed. And that's been me my whole life. But suddenly taking guanfacine just twice a day, my time blindness went whoosh, whoosh. And suddenly I'm experiencing 1 second per second. And for me, that's pretty weird. Now, I do seem to have another side effect. I went to bed around midnight last night. I got out of bed around 7:30. I woke up way earlier than that from pain, but resting can be almost as good as actual sleep. So I stayed in bed till about 7:30. I still had a period of time. I can speak English. I still had a period of time where I was struggling to stay awake and failing. It is 1:58 right now. My med manager appointment was at 11 o'clock and was over at 11:15. For a time, I was just doing things and just watching videos, relaxing, that sort of stuff, trying to get ready to record, and then I started falling asleep. And then I was finally able to get awake. Now the thing is, when I'm awake, and she did double my prescription, so I am officially taking it twice a day. The thing that I don't really like, again, is I'm feeling manic, which, to whatever the word is, it's to redefine, to zero in on what I exactly mean. I don't feel manic as in the sense of by being bipolar. I don't feel wild and crazy, have to go out and do stuff that's potentially life-destroying. But even though I knew I needed to start recording, I also knew that if I can push through my executive dysfunction, I need to take advantage of that. And I could. So I've made it laundry day. I have 2 washers full of towels over in the community center being washed right now. It costs a lot of money, but at least I'm getting it done, and I plan on washing all the rest of my towels and such. It's a struggle to stay ahead when you're taking showers, so, which, obviously, but I'm getting that done. And I talked about this yesterday because I have a limited amount of energy. Everybody has 100 spoons to spend, and it takes spoons to get out of bed, it takes spoons to eat, it takes spoons to dress, it takes spoons to do everything, and you only have 100. Now, when you're a normal, quote unquote, normal person who has between 90 and 100, you can spend your spoons pretty wildly, and at the end of the day, still have a pretty hefty handful of spoons. On a good day, I start with 70, and I'm lucky there's people that start with a whole lot less than that. So when I've got 70 spoons, I got to make sure that I ration them out to have some to last the rest of the night. Making it a laundry day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon may not be a careful rationing of my resources, and I could be spending spoons unwisely. But I feel energized, and I have to take advantage of that. So is what I'm feeling what everyone feels that I would normally feel if I didn't have ADHD with executive dysfunction issues? Again, I can speak English, but right now I have two things working against me. This too much energy feeling. I'm trying to push my words out of my mouth faster than my mouth can say them. Plus, I already have to struggle against the occasional just saying gobbledygook because I take gabapentin, and one of the things that happens with gabapentin, suddenly you just can't say what you're trying to. That was an illustration thereof. Now I have to make sure my tablet just keeps its screen on, so I have to touch the screen. Thumbs up for that. Since I have 25 minutes left, they have an app for the washers and dryers. And I've got the app running. There's an app for frickin' everything. But such is life. So yeah, I'm dealing with all sorts of feelings, and I still, even though I'm not as timelined, I still can't concentrate. That hasn't come back. So, add to the fact that I don't know what to do to fill the empty hours when I'm aware of how the time is passing. I sat down to play a game, quick scenario, in Paint the Town Red yesterday. 15 minutes. It felt like I just sat down, went bibbidi boppity bibbidi dip, and then was done, and then up and pacing because I was finished. That's not a feeling that I'm used to. Hokey smokes. And I'd mentioned a couple days ago, I think, time is weird for me to try and figure. How with ADHD, you feel you gotta do something, but nothing feels right to do, so you end up just vibrating in place instead of actually doing something. Well, I've still got that, only now I've got a whole lot more energy that I've got that's making me vibrate. Oh boy. Well, I also wanted to mention they still have those mouse highways out in the fields, and I don't know if they're mice. They don't have to be mice. They're small rodents that are running through the grass. I've only seen one of them partially, so I don't even know what kind of rodent that it is. But there are still all these rodent highways in the fields that I walk by. I actually try not to walk through the field now that I'm aware that there's all those mouse highways, and I am sad that when walking through the knee-high grasses before, not knowing that there were mouse highways under my feet, I was just ruining them. Sure, I'm under no obligation to take care of the mouse trails. I am a predator. I'm an omnivore. I live in a physical world, and I'm not the only mammal that is wandering through these fields. Yeah, most of them are people, but there's dogs and there's birds that tear stuff up. But they went through and they cut the grass, and they've been keeping it pretty low. But not so low you can't see the little mouse trails. And they're big enough, they're like this big around, and you can see the grass bent, and then it comes back up, and then there's this mouse trail. But because the grass has been cut down low, you can see the mouse trails. They literally look like someone took a garden hose and put it out in the grass so that the grass underneath started to die away and make that path. And then after 1, 2, 3 weeks, after the grass has grown around the hose, you pull the hose up and out. You're going to have a very solid tubeway where that hose was. That's what the mouse trails look like. Again, I say mice. They could be field mice, harvest mice, whatever the tiny mice are that live out in fields. Mice. They could be rats. They could be shrews. They could be anything that lives in kind of a colony, because there are areas that are like the mouse condos. Again, I don't know the creatures, but the paths will go into this one hill area, and they go actually into the ground. So something's living under there. I don't know what. I don't get to see them, but when I'm walking through the fields, I'm watching all the time to make sure that where I'm stepping, I'm not walking through the mouse condo areas, nor am I walking through their little mouse trails. I can't help walking around and, through the areas that they're in, because I will notice mouse trails around my feet as I'm walking that I didn't see. But I think that's really, really cool. And I like looking for the mouse trails when I'm walking near or around the fields. And if you're walking on actual trails that are built up, like the one that I built up before I knew that there were mouse trails and everyone else reinforced, you can see the mouse trails. Some of them, you could see them anyway, but what I meant was they'll come across here, and then there's the trail you walk on, and then it continues over on this side. So that's pretty cool that they do that. And I know that this is not new, but I've been watching videos where I think it's funny and not funny that people refer to the horror and the horrors when they're just referring to life. Because we have, human-made horrors beyond our comprehension already in the world today. Little human-made existential threats instead of existential... I've forgotten the word I even used for that. But, there's the cosmic horrors and existential horrors and human-made horrors. But I've heard so many things where you wouldn't expect it to hear it from someone who's just talking about this, that, and the other, and then saying, well, and all of these people are already well aware of the horrors and go on to do this. And it's like, well, yeah. Yeah, especially. And once again, I wish I had come up with a skin routine before age... was it here that I moved? I must have been I've been doing it for a while, but not just my lower legs. I've been buying lotion for a time, but I only used it for my lower legs because when I was wearing my support stockings before, putting them on and off, when I take them off, there would be just this explosion of dry skin. I am very, very ashy. I am an ash storm of a human being. So I started lotioning my legs before I put my support stockings on. And it's only been fairly recently, past couple of years, probably like only 3-4 years, that I've expanded that skincare routine to be just about my entire body, starting from up here and running down almost to my toes. Do not put lotion between your toes unless you want to have horrendous athlete's foot. Keep your toes dry as you can. Lotion all the way up to them, but don't go between them. You can even lotion the tippy tops a little bit. But I've been doing that. So yeah, I store my stuff up here because I don't have a lot of space. In fact, the only drawers that I have are because I bought plastic drawers. You know, kind of chest of drawers thing from Walmart where they have 3 drawers. Yeah, otherwise I would have no space. They literally don't even have space to, well, there's no drawers, there's no shelves. If you don't bring drawers and shelves with you, you don't have drawers and shelves. The only thing that they provide is slidey cabinet things that go underneath the bed where you slide them out and then you can fold up clothes or whatever and put them in and then you slide them back under. That's what I've got. That's what they put in for everybody here. Past that, if you don't have a table like I got here, or drawers over there, then you don't have a table or anything. So, yeah, they got to be up on top of the microwave. But boy, I wish I had started a skincare routine decades ago. It wouldn't, I mean, I'd still look old, but I look older. Number one, my 25 plus years of alcoholism, it ages you. I look a lot older than I am. And number two, now I can't remember where my point was because ADHD. It is completely gone. I know I was talking about lotion and skincare routines, but past that, it's gone. So, what else do I have up here? Well, my hip still hurts a lot. In fact, it's been pretty rough. In small areas like this, moving my leg, you can't just walk straight ahead with your gait being regulated like that. When you're in a smaller area like this, you're having to always turn, which means one of your legs is going to turn and then the other leg follows with. And this leg is already drifting outward. So if I turn to the left, that auto drifts that leg outward. So if I turn to the left, that hurts. And I turn to the left, 50% of the time. So I have to be aware and conscious of my right foot and leg 24/7, no matter what I am doing. Not sleeping because I'm lying down and not moving, but when I'm awake and moving around, I have to be conscious at all times of that foot and leg. When I'm taking a shower, I have to be conscious of that foot and leg. When I'm drying myself, when I'm getting dressed, when I'm lotioning up my legs and feet, no matter what I am doing, 24/7, minus sleeping again, I have to be conscious of what I am doing with that leg. Yeah, it hurts a lot less. Today it hurts more because I took a shower and that takes a lot of moving. But hokey smokes. And yeah, good old ADHD brain, it's drifted away again. But there's 2 other things I quickly wanted to talk about. One is somebody did some kind of video this morning. I can't even remember what it was. And somebody had left a comment. Oh, it was a debunking video. Somebody left a comment it made sense. It was perfectly legible. And the last thing that they said was, and that really pegs the eunuch. What? I mean, if you want to peg a eunuch, and the eunuch is up for it, and you can find a eunuch, I mean, sure. I mean, that's fine. And as a statement, I don't know what you're I don't know what I'm trying to I don't know what that means. I don't even know how to apply that to meaning. It could be good, it could be bad. Maybe that's the point. I mean, I know what the point was, just to be silly. But the actual phrase itself, thumbs up. And microplastics are, at least in the area, because there's three kinds of microplastics that float on water, microplastics that go mid-range drifting, and microplastics that are heavy and sink. Microplastics that are mid-level, that like get caught in mussels and oysters and such like that, these microfibers are largely 90% fabric fibers. We are filling our bodies and brains with microfibers from fabrics, along, of course, with other stuff. But that's joyous. After all, our brains and livers and bloodstreams are filled with microplastics. That's got to be good. And I play an internet game of Marco Polo just to see who will call back Polo when I yell Marco. Of course, I'm just using a secret word instead of actually calling out Marco. And the secret word I asked to be written into the comments for two reasons. One, Polo, and two, to blatant engagement, farming engagement. The Department of Redundancy department there with words. But yes, and it is not a requirement that anyone play this game, but for the people that did, Jesse Koskinen, thumbs up, thank you. Jack05Z2J, thumbs up. Gus Garrett, 683 thumbs up. I am on the net, thumbs up, good to see you. Nightmare Toxin, spelled Toxcin, thumbs up and thank you. Chris P5E9Y, how about that? Toilet Decimator, thank you very, very much. And James Moore, 2110, thumbs up and thank you, each and every one of you. It is appreciated. And for each one of my Patreon patrons, thumbs up and thank you for being beautiful and awesome people. It is appreciated to no end. And of course, if you could like, comment, share, subscribe, that would be very cool. And again, greatly appreciated. And for everyone that has left me a comment, you too are beautiful and awesome people in your own way. I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up or heart every comment that YouTube lets me, and I answer as many as my nerve compression will allow me to do so. And that's a good thing. I do my best. It can take up to 24 hours to reply on a comment, so if you're expecting a reply, keep checking back. It can take time. I got a whole bunch of physical and mental issues I gotta push through. Yeah, but past that, I'm going to edit, render, upload. I'm going to take care of myself as best I can. I'm still adapting to what I hope is not a permanent change, because that would suck. But I'm still trying to adapt to a change, even if it's temporary. That's the word. God, my brain. And if you've watched this far, good golly, Miss Molly, I have absolutely nothing here. If you could type banana into the comments to let me know that people do watch the video. Marco, I call out. Does anyone yell back Polo? And of course, for blatant engagement farming, I ask you to type banana. But past that, it's a cute, fuzzy little thing. And if you want to play the game, thank you very, very much. Is it a requirement? No, of course not. So, I hope you can get done the things that you would like to get done. That would be very, very cool. But if you can't, please do not beat yourself up. You deserve better. Trust me on that one. And until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very, very good thing. 25 minutes and change, and I still need to take my blood pressure today, so boy, I hope it's come down. I hope I don't get scared. I'm really good at that. Well, time to click the stop taking video button.